Yorana from Tahiti, and welcome to Filled with His Love. When we think of the principle of delegation, most of us think of examples in the workplace. For example, that the boss delegates a task to a worker, or the boss promotes someone as project manager, gives them a new position. Delegation seems like a pretty simple skill, right? Identify someone with an appropriate skill set, assign them to use those skills for the benefit of the organization, and then monitor their progress, right? But I don't think it's quite that simple. In fact, I think this image of delegation is very limited and probably sorely lacking. I remember hearing Elder Maxwell give a talk entitled Grounded, Rooted, Established, and Settled. If it's okay to have favorite talks, this is one of mine. In that talk, he said the following: built into the seemingly ordinary experiences of life are opportunities for us to acquire such eternal attributes as love, mercy, meekness, patience, and submissiveness, and to develop and sharpen such skills as how to communicate, motivate, delegate, and manage our time and talents and our thoughts in accordance with eternal priorities. These attributes and skills are portable. They are never obsolete and will be much needed in the next world. That's the end of the quote. So that line caught my attention. I thought, well, sure, we know we need to acquire the eternal attributes of love and mercy and meekness and patience and submissiveness. Those are Christ-like attributes, and we know those are essential if we are to become like Him. But it was his next list that caused me to think a little bit more deeply, and sharpen such skills as how to communicate, motivate, delegate, and manage our time and talents and thoughts in accordance with eternal priorities. For some reason that day, the word delegate stood out to me. I wondered, how exactly is delegation a portable skill? Because I was thinking of the original secular definition of, give somebody an assignment, watch them do it, monitor their progress, etc. Why did he pick that one skill among so many as an eternal priority? And I've continued to think about it for a long time. One conclusion I've made: our secular notion of delegation is incomplete, partly because it is not based on eternal truths. So now I will take the liberty to go a little further with the word delegation. Elder Maxwell said that delegation is a skill that will rise with us in the resurrection. In the Doctrine and Covenants, we read, what principle of intelligence we attain unto in this life, it will rise with us in the resurrection. In this verse, the word intelligence, of course, means light and truth. It does not mean IQ in the secular sense. And apparently, as Elder Maxwell taught, one of the principles of light and truth we need to develop in this life is the skill of delegation. To help us raise our sights, I would like to call this portable skill, this eternal skill, divine delegation. That's my term. It helps me separate it from the secular notion. Think for a moment all that God the Father delegated to His only begotten Son. He empowered Christ to create the world, redeem us from the fall, be our mediator and advocate, judge all of mankind, and be the head of His church. This was the beginning of divine delegation. As the head of His church, Jesus then delegated responsibility to His apostles. And that pattern of delegation continues in His church today. President Nelson has been delegated the responsibility to preside over Christ's church. But he is not its head. As President Hinckley once said, the church does not belong to its president. Its head is the Lord Jesus Christ, whose name each of us has taken upon ourselves. We are all in this great endeavor together. We are here to assist our Father in His work and His glory. Now, listen to this. I think this is one of the most important things that's ever been said about delegation. This is President Hinckley. Your obligation is as serious in your sphere of responsibility as is my obligation in my sphere. No calling in this church is small or of little consequence. The reason that hit me so much is because I just don't think we see it that way. I think we see important callings like bishop or prophet or Relief Society president, these ones that have titles next to them, that have these kind of large responsibilities. We say those are large kinds of things. Those are important kinds of callings, and perhaps my calling or in my sphere is small or of little consequence. And President Hinckley is saying, your obligation is as serious in your sphere of responsibility as is my obligation in my sphere. Whatever you're doing is as important as what the prophet himself is doing. This is such a powerful thing to think about. Divine delegation means that President Nelson has been called by God, not by man. His authority is divine, not earthly, and President Hinckley is teaching us that we have also been called by God, not by man. Our responsibilities, whatever they might be in mortality, are of divine origin. Think how God has delegated to us, his children, the sacred power of procreation. He has delegated to us the responsibility to rear his spirit children in light and truth. What delegated authority could be more powerful than that? I can't think of anything. The world often measures the value of delegated authority by position, title, salary, or recognition, fame, etc. But divine delegation means something quite different. Divine delegation means that we need to remind ourselves every day that however insignificant we might feel, and we all feel insignificant, sometimes we feel forgotten, left out, set aside, I don't know. We have been divinely empowered to do his work, whatever form that work might take. I've always been intrigued with the 9th verse of Doctrine and Covenants 62. Behold, the kingdom is yours, and behold, and lo, I am with the faithful always. You'll notice the Lord did not say, I will be only with my prophet always, or I'll be only with those who are called as members of the 12. No, he did not say this. He said, I am with the faithful always. So the kingdom is ours. It belongs to all of us. The Lord is its head, but we are the stewards he has entrusted with it here on the earth. He has delegated to us the power of the gathering, the most important work going forth on the earth, as President Nelson has taught. That alone makes our obligation as serious in our sphere of responsibility as is the prophet's obligation in his sphere, as President Hinckley taught. Divine delegation is a relational skill. God delegates to us, and then we delegate to others. Raising children is itself a process of delegation. We delegate very little to a 2-year-old, thank goodness, but gradually we delegate more to children as they mature. At one point we say to ourselves, I think she or he is old enough to babysit tonight while we go out. We don't think of it as delegation, but that's exactly what it is. We empower the child to care for his or her siblings, and that's a divine task because all of our children are children of God. God has delegated to us the power to create. What a power! We can create whatever we are inspired to create, whatever our interests and talents afford us. He has delegated to us the power to learn and to teach. Again, what amazing powers! We can learn something new every day of our lives, and we can teach every day. He has delegated to us the power to lift up those who are discouraged, to listen to those who need to be heard, to bring a little light to those who are in darkness, to nourish each other, to relieve one another's pain. All of these tasks are divine. They all come from God and cause those we love and those we meet to draw a little closer to their Maker. Each time we draw closer to one another. Each time we lift up a hand that hangs down, we become the Lord's hands. We are building His kingdom because His kingdom is the collection of all of His children, and He has delegated to us the responsibility to love and serve one another. He has told us that the kingdom is ours. This is divine delegation. It affects us every day, all day. I'm going to keep thinking about it, and I hope you'll keep thinking about it. It's a sacred duty and privilege to receive God's power as He delegates it to us and to then delegate to others in our sphere of action, as President Hinckley said. In my next episode, I want to share some more about this and talk about the characteristics of divine delegation. I hope this is helpful. I mean, I don't know if you've ever thought about delegation like this before, but I keep thinking about it, and I think it's so important. So we will hopefully see you next time.